All right, rules of House of Representatives. Rule 12, receipt, referral, and measures and matters. Message received the Senate from the President shall be entered for the Journal and publishing on the Congressional Record of the proceeding of that day. Referral to the Speaker of the shall refer each bill or resolution over the matters relating to the subject listed under the standing of the committee means for the clause 1 over the Rule 10. According to the provision of the clause, the Speaker shall refer to the matters under the paragraph A such manner within ensure the maximum extent feasible for each of the committee for the jurisdiction under clause 1 over the Rule 10 over the subject matter of the provision therefore thereof may be considered the subject provision report of the House thereon with proceeding rulings and procedures in effect before 1994th Congress shall be applied with the referrals under the clause only to the extent that they will be contributed to the achievement of the objectives of this clause. In carrying out paragraphs A and B with respect to the referral of the matter of the Speaker of the shall designate with the committee with the primary jurisdiction except for the Speaker of the determination with extraordinary circumstances justified with a review by more than one committee as though the primary may refer to the matter of one more additional of the committee for consideration in sequence, either initially or after the matter has been reported to the committee of the primary jurisdiction. Any may refer to portions of the matter reflection of the different subject of the jurisdiction of one or more additional committees. May refer material to special ad hoc committee appointed by the Speaker of the House that included members of the committees of the jurisdiction for the specific purpose of consideration of the matter. Reporting to the House thereon may be subject to referral with appropriate time limitations and make such other provisions may be considered appropriate. A bill for the payment of injunction private claim and against the government may not be referred to with the committee other than the Committee on the Foreign Affairs for the Committee on the Judiciary except by unanimous consent. Petitions, memorials, private bills, and member of the delegate with the resident commissioner have with the petition memorial with the private bill present with the member of the delegate resident commissioner shall sign with the deliver to the clerk may specify with the reference to disposition of the made over such petition memorial with the private bill except with the judge for the speaker with the absent with the insult should be entered within the journal with the name of the member of the delegate of the resident commissioner for the presenting of the shall be printed with the congressional record with the respect with the annual memorial presented with the paragraph A with the reporting application legislator of the state and with the calling for the convention with the purpose of amendments to the Constitution of the United States pursuant to Article 5 of the recession of any such application with the chairman of the committee with the judiciary shall with the case of the staff of the mayor memorial presented in the 114th Congress and succeeding Congresses may be in this case such for the memorial presented prior to the 114th Congress designated any such memorial for public available by the clerk and the clerk shall make with such of the memorials designated pursuant to paragraph 1 with the public available with electrical form organized state with the origin year of the receipt and shall indicate whether the memorial was designated as an application or rescission. Private bill for the private resolution included with the omnibus claim with a petition bill with amendment thereof to would not be received with the consideration of the House if the authorizer directs payment of the property damage of the personal injury of the death of which of the suit with the institute with the tort claims procedure provided in Title 28 United States Code for pension with the other carry out with the provisional law treaty stipulation over the construction bridge across the navigable stream or the correction of military naval record prohibition of the commentary of the commemorations bill resolution amendment thereto may not introduce with the consideration of the House establish with the expense for the commemorations. In this cover, the term commemoration means the remembrance, celebration, recognition of the purpose of the designate with a specified period of time. Excluded mayors of petition memorial bill with the resolution excluded under this shall the rule shall be with the return of the member of the delegate resident commissioner from which it was received but additional private bill that has been inappropriately referred to may be the direction of the committee have the possession of the properly refer to the manual original presented earnest reference of the petition of the private bill and of the clause that does not confer jurisdiction on the committee to consider or report it. Sponsorship bills and memorial petitions, resolutions endorsed for the name of the members, delegates, of resident commissioner with introduced them may be delivered to the Speaker to be referred with the title reference any of the bills and the memorial of the petition, the resolution of the documents referred to at the end of this rule with the enter of the journal of the printing of the congressional error in this reference may be corrected by the House in accordance with Rule 10 any of the day immediately after the Pledge of Allegiance over the flag with the unanimous consent of the motion. Such a motion shall be privileged if offered by the direction of the committee to which the bill has been erroneously referred to by the direction of the committee claim claiming the jurisdiction shall be decided without debate. The sponsor of the public resolution may be named co-sponsor with the name of the co-sponsor to be added, and after the initial printing of the bill with the resolution shall appear with the next printing of the bill. Resolution written request for the sponsor of such request may be submitted to the Speaker at any time in the last committee of the authorized to consider the report or bill resolution reports for the House of the discharge from the consideration of the name of the co-sponsor of the bill. Resolution may be deleted only with a demand from the floor made by the member of the delegate resident commissioner whose name is deleted with the unanimous consent with the request of the sponsor of the Speaker may only entertain such of the demand or request until the last committee of the authorized to be considered the report of bill resolution reports for the House of his discharge from the consideration. The Speaker may not entertain the request of the delete with the name of the sponsor of the bill resolution. Deletion shall be indicated with the date of the next printing of the bill with the resolution. Addition of the deletion of the name of the co-sponsored bill resolution should be into the journal printed of the congressional record of that day. Bill resolution should be reprinted with the written request of the sponsor. Such of the request should be submitted by the Speaker only within 20 or more co-sponsors have been added since the last printing of the bill resolution. When a bill resolution introduced by request, those words shall be entered with the journal and the printing of the congressional record. A bill with a joint resolution may be introduced unless the response for the submitted for the printing of the congressional record, with the shading, the citing, with a specifically practical for the powers granted with the Congress in Constitution and Act of the bill with a joint resolution statement should appear with a portion of the record designated for the purpose of the made for the publicly devised with electronic form in the form of the clerk. Before consideration, a Senate bill with a joint resolution, chair of the committee of the jurisdiction may submit with a statement and require for the initial paragraph 1 as though the chair of the word sponsor of the Senate bill with a joint resolution. The first 10 numbers of the bill, House Representative 1 through 10, shall be reserved for the assignment by the Speaker. For the second numbers 10 from second number 10 numbers from for the bill HR 11 through 20 shall be reserved for the assignment of the minority leader. Executive communications, estimated operations of the other communications with the executive departments and some of the consideration any committees of the House which will be addressed to the Speaker for the referral of the providing clause 2 with the Rule 14. Rule 13. Calendars of committee reports. All business reported for the committee shall be referred to one of the following 3 calendars: the calendar of the committee for the whole House of the Chamber of the Union, which has the refer for the public bill for the resolution and the raising venue involving taxes charged of the public and indirectly with making an apparition of the money and the property requiring such apparitions to be made, authorizing payments out of the apparitions, and that is the calendar of the committee of the whole House. On the State of the Union, apparitions all ready made, releasing any liability the United States for the money and property of the House of the calendar, which shall be referred to with the public bill with the public resolution, that requiring the referral of the calendar of the committee of the whole House of the State of the Union. Private calendar is provided with the clause of Rule 5 and Rule 15, to which shall be referred to with the private bills and private resolutions. There is an established calendar of motion to discharge committees as provided in Clause 2 of Rule 15. The established consensus calendar is provided in Clause 7 of Rule 15. Filing and printing reports, except for the providing subparagraph 2 and 3, all of the reports committees, other than those filed with the floor, shall be delivered to the clerk with the printing reference of the proper calendar under the direction of the Speaker within accordance with Clause 1 of the title subject of each of the report shall be entered in the journal printed with the congressional record. A bill resolution reported adversely with the other within no file with the privilege of it shall be laid on the table unless the committee which of the bill resolution referred to the request at the time of the report with the referral appropriate calendar under the Clause 1 left there lives 3 days thereafter the member, delegate, resident commissioner makes such a request. All reports of the committee may be delivered to the clerk in electronic form. It shall be the duty of the chair effective with the committee with the report with the cause of the reporter promptly with the House with the measure of the matter with the approve of the committee with the take with the cause of the take and the steps necessary with the bring the measure of the matter to vote. Any event with the report of the committee measure has been approved of the committee shall be filed within 7 calendar days, exclusive of the days with which the House is not in concession and answer for the day of the written request for the filing of the report signed by the majority of the members of the committee has been filed with the clerk of the committee of such of the request of the subparagraph that does not apply with the report of the committee with the rules with respect to rule, joint rule, order of business to the House of the reporting resolution and inquiry addressed to the head of the executive department. All supplementary minority additional dissenting views of the filed under the Clause 2.1 Rule 11 by one or more of the members' committee shall be included in shall be part of the report filed with the committee respect with the measures of matter of the time guaranteed by Clause 2.1 Rule 11 is expired if sooner will separate with the views that have been received with the committee may be arranged the file to report with the clerk no later than 1 hour after the expiration of such time. This clause of provision Clause 2.1 Rule of the 11 does not preclude the intermediate filing of the printing of the committee report with the absence of the timely request for the opportunity to file supplemental minority additional dissenting views provided in Clause 2.1 Rule 11. content of the reports, except for the providing subparagraph 2 of the report of the committee on the measure of the matter shall be printed within a single volume, that shall include the supplementary minority additional dissenting views that have been submitted for the time of the filing of the report, and shall bear on the cover with a recital of any of the supplemental minority additional dissenting views to any of the material submitted under paragraph C3 as are included to part of this rule. The committee may file with a supplemental report of the correction of the technical error of the previous report of the measure of the matters. A supplementary report only correcting error of the depiction of the record votes under paragraph B that may be filed within the subparagraph that shall not be subject to the requirement in clause 4 and clause 6 of the concerning the availability of the reports. With respect to each of the record of the vote, motion of the report of the measure matter of the public nature of any of the amendment offered of the measure of the matter, total number of votes cast against for the names of the members voting for or against those shall include the committee with the report of the preceding sentence that does not apply for the votes taken in the executive session by the committee on ethics. Alright, the report on the committee of the measure that has been approved of the committee shall include the separate set of the now and clearly identified with the following oversight finding with the recommendation on clause 2B1 of Rule 10, the statement that required in section 308 of the A of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974, except for the estimate of the new budget authority shall include the where impractical for the comparison of the total estimated funding level of the relevant programs at appropriate levels under the current law, estimated comparison prepared for the director of the Congressional Budget Office of the under section 402 of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974, timely submitted to the committee before filing the report. A statement of the general performance goals of the objective to include the outcome related with the goals and objectives of which a measure they authorize the funding on a bill of the joint resolution of the established reauthorized federal program statement indicating whether any such of the program known the duplicated of any of the such program included the minimum explanation whether any such program was included in the report of the Congress pursuant to Section 21 Public Law 111 13.9, whether the most recent catalog federal domestic assistance pursuant to Section 6104 Title 31 United States Code identified other programs related with the program established or reauthorized of the measure on a bill of the joint resolution to be considered for the pursuant of the special order of the business accorded by the committee on the rules listed related to committee subcommittee hearings and designation at least one committee subcommittee hearing that used to the development consider the such a bill joint resolution subdivision A shall not apply with the bill of the joint resolution continuing the operation fiscal year of the containing emergency designation under section 251B2 or section 252E of the Balanced Budget Emergency Deficit Control Act of 1985. Each report on the committee of the public bill of the public joint resolution shall contain the following: an estimate of the committee of the cost that would be incurred with the carrying out with the bill with the joint resolution fiscal year with which of the report at each of the 5 fiscal years following the fiscal year or for the authorized duration of any of the program authorized by the bill joint resolution less than 5 years. The comparison of the estimate of the cost of described in subdivision A with made with the complete with any estimate such for the cost made with the government agency submitted with the such for the committee and with a practical comparison of the total estimated funding level of relevant programs appropriate to levels of the current law. 2A, when the subparagraph 1 of the term of the government agency include with the department of the agency the established wholly owned government corporation instrumentality of the federal government or of the government of the District of Columbia. Subparagraphs 1 do not apply with the committee of operation, committee of the House Administration, committee of the rules, committee on ethics. Does not apply with the cost estimate of the comparison prepared with the director of the Congressional Budget Office under section 402 of this Congressional Budget Act of 1974 has been included with the report under paragraph C3. Whenever committee reports a bill with a joint resolution proposed with a repeal of the amendment of the statute of the part of the air shall include within the report with the company with the documents showing with the appropriate typographical device the dimension of the insertion proposed with the entire text of each of the section statement that proposed to be repealed with the comparative print each of the amendment the entire text solution section of the statute of the bill joint resolution purposes to make if the committee reports of the bill joint resolution proposed with the repeal of the amendment of the statute of the part thereof the recommendation bill of the joint resolution amendment with the comparative print required. Subparagraph 1 shall reflect the change of the existing law proposed to be made with the bill and joint resolution proposed to be amended. Okay, a report with the committee operation of the general operation bill shall include the insight of the statement that describing the effect of any of the provision accompanying the bill and directly change of the application of the existing law and a list of the operation contained with the bill with the expenditure of the not currently authorized by the law with the period with concern with accepting classified intelligence of the National Security Program projects and their activities along with the statement of last year with which for the expenditure that were authorized level of the expenditure for the authorized for that year and the actual level of expenditures for that year and the level of the operation of the bill for such expenditures. Whenever the committee of the operation report with the bill and joint resolution include with the matter specified within 1B23 of the Rule 10 shall include In the bill, the joint resolution separate heading with the rescission of the transfer of the unexpected balance of the report of the committee with a separate section listing of the rescission of the transfers. Move of the committee on the rule of reports resolution proposed with the repeal of the amended standing rule of the House shall include the report of the accompanying of the document text any of the rule part of thereof the proposed to be repealed. Comparative print of any of the part of the resolution proposed amended with the rule of the part of therefore proposed amending shown with appropriate typographical device on initially insertion proposed. It shall not be in order to consider the bill with the joint resolution report of the Committee of the Ways and Means for the purpose of the amendment of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. The report included the tax complexity analysis prepared with the Joint Committee of the Taxation in accordance with Section 4022B with the Internal Revenue Service restructuring of the Reform Act of 1998. Chairman of the Committee on the Ways and Means of the tax complexity analysis printed with the congressional record before with the consideration of the bill joint resolution. Availability reports specified in subparagraph 2 that it shall not be in order with the consider of the House of the measure of the matters of the report of the committee of the until the proposed tax of each of the report except with the view of the referred in clause 2.1 of the rule 11 of the committee the measure of the matter that has been available to the member delegate the resident commissioner for 72 hours. Subparagraph 1 does not apply for the other resolution providing the joint rule of the order of business reported for the committee on the rules considered within clause 6. A resolution providing amounts for the applicable account of the described in clause 1K1 with the rule 10 reported for the committee of the House of Administration considered within clause 6 of the rule 10 resolution presentation representing a question of the privilege of the House reported any of the committee the measure of the declaration of war, declaration of national emergency by Congress, and measure of the providing with the disapproval of the decision of the determination or action of the government agency that would become continually effective unless disapproved of the otherwise invalidated by one of both the House of the Congress subdivision with the term of the government agency includes any of the department agency establishment wholly owned government corporation instrumentality of federal government of the government district Columbia the committee of the report of the measure manager to make the reasonable effort of the hearings thereof and if the amendment printed available to distribution member to delegate for the resident commissioner therefore with the consideration measure of the manager in the House. Public report general. The following committee shall have the level levy to report at any time with the following matters respectively: Committee of the Operation General Operation Bill Joint Resolution continuing operation fiscal year of the after September 15th preceding fiscal year. Committee on the budget of the matter received the report of the staff of the committee on Titles 3 and 4 of the Congress Budget Act of 1974 of the Committee of the House Administration and enrolled bills in contested elections on matters referred for the concern with the printing and the use of the House of the two Houses with the expenditure of the Apple accounts of the House of the described in clause 1K1 Rule 10 on matters relating to preservation available to non-current records of the House Rule of the 7th Committee on the Rules and Rules Committee on Rules, Joint Rules and Order of Business Committee on Ethics Resolution Recommendation acting with the House with respect to the matter delegate resident commissioner of the officer employed by the House of the result of the investigation committee relating to official conduct such a member delegate resident commissioner officer of their employee. A report filed with the flow for the pursuant with the 2A3 with the pursuant with the floor pursuant with the clause 2A3 with the pursuant with the clause 2C with the privilege on paragraph A with the may be called up. Privilege question of the direction reporting committee of the subject of any of the requirement concerning the availability of member delegates resident commissioner under clause 4 with the concerning the timing and consideration under clause 6. Alright, keep moving. Privilege reports committee on the rules. The report of the committee of the rule of the rule joint rule of the order of the business to not be called upon with the consideration same day presumed of the House except when so determined by the vote of 2/3 of the members voting quorum being present in case of the resolution proposed for the waive of the requirement of clause 4 of the clause 8 with the rule 1222 with the concern of the availability of the reports when proposed text such of the report have been made available to the member of the delegate of the resident commissioner prior to the conveying of the legislative date or during the last 3 days of session of the Congress depending with the consideration of the report committee on the rules joint rule of the order of business speak for the entertain with one of the motion, the House adjourn with the may not with the entertain with the delegatory motion until the report shall be disposed of. The committee on the rules may not report a rule or order that would prevent the motion of the recommit of the bill joint resolution from being made as provided in clause 2 of the rule of 19 over the minority leader designating except with respect to the Senate bill joint resolution for which the text House passes measured has been substituted. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Keeping going, the committee within rules shall presume that the House of the Representatives concern with the rules joint rule with the order of business within 3 legislative days of the time that they are ordered in. So if such of the report is not considered immediately, it should be referred to the calendar. Such a report of the calendar is not called up by the member of the committee of the 7th legislative day after the member of the committee may call with a privileged question on that day after the calendar date, which the member announced to the House of an intention to do so, with the Speaker will recognize the member of the committee will seek the recognition for that purpose. An adverse report of the committee on the rules resolution proposing special order of the business consideration public bill for the public joint resolution may be called upon as for the privileged question of the member delegate with the resident commissioner second, fourth of the month, Mondays of the month. If the House adopted a resolution making the ordered motion to consider the bill resolution, such a motion has not been offered in 7 calendar days, there such a motion will be privileged offered with the direction of the reporting committee of the initial jurisdiction bill resolution. Remember, the committee reports on the resolution provided with the consideration of the measure issued with the maximum extent of the possible specified with the accompanying report with any with a waiver, point, or order against the measure against its consideration. Resolution of the inquiry. A report of the resolution inquired or addressed with the heads of the executive department may be filed on the floor and privilege of the stuff of the resolution per report of the House within 14 legislative days after the introduction, motion, and discharge. Committee for consideration shall be privileged. All right, continuing to move on. Estimated major legislation. Estimate of major legislation. Estimate provided by the Congressional Budget Office under Section 402 of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974. Major legislation shall, to the extent practicable, incorporate budgetary effect for the change of the economic output, employment, capital stock, other macroeconomic variables resulting in such legislation. Any estimate provided by the Joint Committee on the Taxation Directive of the Congressional Budget Office under the Section 201F of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974 and the measure of legislation shall be the extent of the practical incorporate budgetary effects of change the economical output, employment, capital stock, with the other macroeconomical variables resulting in such legislation estimated referred in the clause of the extent of the practical include the qualitative assessment of the budgetary effects include the macroeconomic variables as described in paragraph A and B with such legislation 20 fiscal year period beginning with the after the last fiscal year of the month recently agreed with the concurrent resolution of the budget set forth at the appropriate level required in Section 301 Congressional Budget Act of 1974. Identification critical assumption source for the data underlying the estimate issue for the clause of the term in the major legislation means any bill, joint resolution for which estimate is required to be prepared pursuant to Section 402 of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974 with the call for the gross budgetary effect for incorporating macroeconomic effect for the fiscal year offered over the years of the most recently agreed to with the concurrent resolution of the budget equal to or greater than 0.25% of the current rejected gross domestic product of the United States for the official year. Designated such for the chair of the committee of the budget for the direct spending of legislation review legislation on the member of the which the chair of the vice versa applicable the joint committee of the taxation revenue legislation and the term budgetary effects mean with the change of the revenue outlays and defects. Rules 14 order and priority of business.